Hello, my name's Andrew, and today we're checking out the REALFOOT FARMER Winter. I'm gonna do a full review on this boot when I get some more testing in per usual, but for now, I'm just gonna talk about what it's been like so far going out on some walks and hikes, and we're gonna talk about the features and yeah, let's get into it. So I've been really excited to review this boot for a long time because people keep telling me about REALFOOT as a brand. They're like, you have to try the toe box, and look at this thing. This is a true barefoot toe box. It is a true extra wide, a ton of space up there for your toes to spread out. And even if you're someone who doesn't have extra wide feet, I actually really liked how this felt, which I'm gonna talk more about. But yeah, let's take a look at the upper first. This is 100% leather all the way around. And it's not just your usual leather, it's actually sanded. So it has this very weathered type look just straight out of the box, which I like because some barefoot boots can look a little bit too shiny, you know, leather right away. And I like a boot that looks like it's just ready to go out in the mud and the trails and just get a lot of use, you know? So I think that that's pretty cool. It's water resistant. It's not fully waterproof, but it will shed rain and puddles and wet grass and a little bit of slush. You wouldn't want to go creek wading in it, but you can also treat it like most leather with either a spray, which REALFOOT sells on their website, or any kind of wax type material for leather. Looking at the laces, they have your normal kind of lace loops here that make it really easy to cinch quickly. But then right here, halfway up, you've got a little tab that the laces can go through. So you can kind of have it loose down here, but then you can get a little more tension here. And then up at the top, REALFOOT actually has lace locks. So these aren't just lace hooks like a lot of boots will have, they actually lock the laces. And I want to show you what this sounds like because it's actually kind of an addictive sound. So I'm gonna hold up to the mic and see if you can hear this. You hear that? There's just like this really gratifying pop to it. And I kind of like that because when you're lacing the boots up, first you have the tab here that the laces run through that kind of holds it in place, which is nice. But then when you get to the top, like you can just snap it into here and then into here, and you can just like let go of the laces and it just holds on to them, which I love because a lot of boots, like you'll be lacing them up and then, you know, like it'll fall out of the top lace lock and it's just, I don't know, it's annoying. So I think it's a really cool feature, and it gives you different tension points, you know, so you can have it looser here and then tighter here and then looser or tighter here, you know, whatever you want, which is nice for a boot that you're gonna do a lot of walking in. In terms of the lining, it has a fleece type lining. So it's like a mid-warm type of lining, and the leather is, it's pretty thin. So it's a good like medium warm boot for winter. I've used it from up to 40 degrees down to 20 degrees. And then if you stack a couple layers of socks in it, you can make it even warmer. So a couple of things that I've done. It comes with insole, a cork insole, which is a pretty good insulator. It's got a nice soft top to it, but I really like the feel of the boot without the insole in there because I'm just all about ground feel, but in the winter, you know, it can get cold. So what I like to do with my winter barefoot boots is put a wool insole in there because it's really flexible. It doesn't interfere with ground feel or flexibility at all, but wool is extremely warm. So if I put that into the boot and then I layer either 1 or 2 layers of Injinji merino wool toe socks, and actually REALFOOT also has wool I can't even say it, wool toe socks. I always have problems saying it, but yes, REALFOOT has wool toe socks that you can check out, which look really cool. I think they might actually be a bit thicker than Injinji's. So that would be a great option for winter. But if you stack a couple of those up in a thinner barefoot boot like this, along with the wool insole, it can make them really warm. You can get down to maybe 15, 10 degrees with a super thin boot like this. So speaking about the thinness, this has a 4mm sole, so extremely flexible in every direction. Really good walking feel. It feels like a lot of the other really thin barefoot boots that I've had. And having come from like a big clunky boot for winter boots, like if you've never tried a barefoot boot for winter, it'll just blow your mind because it's so light. It's it's only 356 grams for the size 44, which is like half the weight of a traditional snow boot. So it's just crazy. In terms of the sole, it's got a minimal to semi-aggressive type sole. It is fairly thin, but you know, it's got a bit of grip to it. And I like this type of sole because it gives you a little bit of traction for going up and down hills and slippery surfaces, but the tread is pretty flat, so it also works really well on roads. If you have a tread that looks a little bit more like this Balenka, this can get ground down a little bit faster on roads. So yeah, I mean, going up and down like an icy, wet hill, this is probably not the tread for that. It is going to be a little bit slippery, but you know, this is it's a casual boot, it's a work type boot, so you may not be doing like serious alpine hiking in this type of boot. But overall, I think the feeling is great. Like I said, it's super light, super flexible. It also has a stitched sole, which is a feature that I really like to see, and that goes all the way around. And that's great because glue sometimes, especially for winter shoes where they're getting exposed to a lot of water, it can just start to deteriorate fairly quickly. So yeah, a stitched sole is another great thing to have. So overall, I'm really excited about this boot. Also a pull tab, nice beefy pull tab in the back to get it on. A few other thoughts, like the felt or fleece lining is very smooth and soft feeling. And then it also goes down into the heel of the boot. You can't quite see it because it's like, maybe you can. It's kind of dark in there, but it's very smooth feeling. So when your heel is in the back of the boot, it just slides without rubbing, which is nice because sometimes you get like a kind of rough feeling heel material, or it's just like too hard and it rubs on your socks, or it grips to your socks and then your socks rub your heel. And that's not good because then you're gonna get blisters. So going back to what I said at the beginning, you don't have to have an extra wide foot to wear the Farmer. And there are actually a few use cases where it might make sense if you don't have an extra wide foot. For example, if you have toe spacers, like you're gonna need that extra space to fit it in. You probably won't be able to fit those into a normal boot. And then also, if you're someone like me who has a medium width foot, you might just like the feeling of having more room because it creates more airflow, and it also gives your feet the chance to spread out over time. If you're just wearing a boot that's like a medium cut or a wide cut, you know, your feet aren't gonna be able to grow as much. So that's something that I'm looking forward to, just experimenting with, seeing how much my feet spread out wearing an extra wide boot like this. And yeah, I'll keep you guys updated as I test it out more and come out with the full review for the REALFOOT Farmer Winter. So until then, I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.